listening to The Weekly Chaos, a gaming news podcast brought to you... Fuck. You know what?
You got it, champ.
You know what? I'm so tired of the fucking intro. This is The Weekly Chaos, a gaming news podcast brought to you by The Offbeet.
And Philip J. Gray.
Something like that. Well, each week we're going to go over, I don't know, something to do with gaming news and mishaps and all kinds of stuff. Basically, it's a gaming react podcast when it comes to news. That's kind of the easiest explanation. Right. I, as per vaguely usual, haven't actually looked into the news this week because I like my reactions to be genuine and Offbeat is really good at finding information. So we're just going to dive into it with the one on the screen in that Baldur's Gate 3 nude scenes are getting Xbox players banned, which I did read. I did read this one, weirdly enough. And apparently, enough Xbox players have been recording the sex scenes in Baldur's Gate 3 which auto uploads them to, is it just the Xbox Online service or something?
I think it's something along those lines. Yeah, just it auto uploads them, and I guess people didn't realize that when you save a clip, so they're just posting nudity and don't realize it.
Yeah, and then they're getting banned. But like, I didn't think Xbox was quite that precious.
Yeah, Xbox has a no nudity at all policy.
Really? Maybe they should reconsider some of the games on their platform then.
For real.
Just one or two.
To my knowledge, there has been an update to this whole story where people who have been banned have been unbanned, but the fact that it happened in the first place is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and I mean, look, at least they're looking into it so much.
And I like some of the commentary too, like the person who says you could blow up a tank or mass murder a platoon in bunkers, but God forbid you show a weenie. Not the weenies with the real jiggle physics. Not sponsored.
It's the Xbox network that gets automatically posted to your public profile. Okay, that makes sense. It's what I figured. I just wasn't entirely sure how that worked. I didn't realize Xbox had become a social media hub. Which again, it's one of those things that I forget Discord technically is social media. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, 1 second before we continue. You have green fucking things around you because I did not put you in the right spot. I am
the green one.
So I gotta blow you out just a little bit further, bud. Yes.
Giggity.
Yes. You talk again for me.
Bop 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 bop.
Good enough. I'll cover it with your camera later anyway. You are recording, right?
Yeah.
So just checking.
All up in that bitch.
So like,
and microphone is recording too.
Fuck yeah. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I feel like stop recording the sex scenes in BG3, by the way. You can find them on YouTube uncensored quite easily. They exist.
It's funny.
And if push comes to shove, I'm sure you can find them on the hub. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I mean, you can probably find people reenacting them on the hub.
Yeah, if you try hard enough, you might find the voice actors reenacting on the hub. They're really good at doing anything related to the project. But on top of that, more Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. Now, the modders won't stop giving Astarion guns. Now, I had a question. I brought this up at dinner because I was reading the article at dinner, or I glanced at the article. And without looking at the picture, because I didn't at the time look at the picture, all I read was giving Astarion guns. And I had to question, was that guns or was that pew-pew guns or like a bit of both? Like the pew-pew gun with a big-ass muscly arm. Like that's kind of where I went with it. And I like the idea of both at the same time.
I just love the idea that it says that for some reason everyone seems to always give Astarion a gun, and to a point where the modders themselves have leaned into it with their promotional images for their mods being him with guns.
That's pretty great. I mean, some of these images are highly entertaining. Obviously Nexus is going slightly wild with its giving him a fucking assault rifle and that kind of shit. I don't know. It's a very amusing concept that a bunch of people would just go around giving a vampire a gun. It seems like the least vampire-y thing you could give them to, which amuses the shit out of me.
You know why I use a knife? The gun's too quick. You can't savor all the little emotions.
Mind you, it's Astarion, so like I feel like less creepy and more just suave.
People show you who you really are in their final moments.
Yeah.
You know which ones were cowards.
The most exciting news to come out of the last week and a half is that Mickey Mouse, the original Mickey Mouse, and Minnie for that matter, I believe.
We need some addendums on this. So it's specifically the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, black and white, no gloves. And this is the copyright that is expired, not the trademark. So you still cannot use the Mickey Mouse name and or logo. Now that that's been clarified.
But what you can say is creepy mouse thing in horror game and make it look exactly like this. I think this is basically what we did with Winnie the Pooh. The minute Winnie the Pooh came out of copyright, they made it
Blood
into
and Honey.
this. Yeah, and
as far as I know, there's already a confirmed game, which is Infestation 88, which has since had its name changed to Infestation Origins due to ties to Nazism. But you know,
whoops,
oversights and all that.
But yeah, I like the idea of like very early Mickey Mouse becoming this game's like titular capacity.
Thanks for coming out.
I'm just gonna put the trailer on the screen. We can have a look. Find the source.
We thought it was just rodents, but there's something else in here.
Why is it the worst animation? Treat the infestation.
There's nests.
Oh look, it's a Lethal Company character.
We tried to take care of it ourselves, but things have escalated.
Ooh, that's a big mouse.
The exterminators are our last hope. Please.
That is quite the infestation you're dealing with.
Being able to use one of the most iconic face structures as an asset or as a character or like in any artwork, but being able to use one of the most iconic fucking like face shapes on the fucking planet is wild.
Yep. As long as it's specifically the Mickey Mouse that's in black and white with no gloves, and specifically not the Fantasia magic hat, because that one is still copyrighted.
Copyrighted, yeah. Does that mean you can put him in like a random other hat and it would be fine? Like we can put him in a trucker hat?
Probably. To my understanding, there's also been 2 movies announced, but I don't have any information on those specifically.
Exact same shit they did with Winnie the Pooh. Like literally beat for beat. Yeah. All right. Now, Lies of P sequel in UE5. Thoughts, opinions, preferences, hopes to come out of it.
I am actually balls deep in Lies of P, so this was an interesting article to have pop up because I didn't even know a sequel was happening. But I just like the idea that the sequel itself and the Unreal Engine 5 was all basically announced by the fact that they are putting up job listings for like people to help them with it, work on it.
That's a pretty good way to announce it. Like of all the things you could have done, you announced it in the cleanest possible format.
But I mean, it's a Bloodborne-esque story of Pinocchio. It's fucking amazing. All done in this Souls-like action style game.
Yeah, I really want to get around to playing Lies of P, to be honest, just because I'm curious.
It's really fucking good. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, you've definitely spoken highly of it, so it's definitely on my list for things I might eventually do.
As of right now, I am balls deep in it. Like I have been playing it nonstop for the last week and a half.
Jesus, I had noticed you were playing it a lot. You like Discord kept telling me you were playing Lies of P, and I was like, yeah, it kind of tracks for you. Cool. I don't give a shit. IGN, go away. Alrighty. Do you know how to pronounce his name?
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Thank you. Isn't retiring anytime soon, which means we're gonna get 8,000 more Mario games and nothing else.
Yeah, when asked if he was ever considering retiring, he said he's more concerned about the end of his lifespan, basically saying, I'm gonna do this till I die.
Yeah, which what exactly is his position in the company, just out of curiosity? Do we know?
I think he's currently the head, like CEO.
Let me just do a quick search. He is,
but I think he also like created Zelda.
It really doesn't actually want to fucking tell me. Video game director, producer, artist, designer, and general manager. a hell of a list.
Yeah, I think he's like I think he's like the head guy right now.
Yeah. So like, does this just mean that we're literally never gonna get a new IP from Nintendo? We're just gonna get more like Marios and Zeldas with nothing new on it?
If it ain't, I mean, to be fair, the Marios and Zeldas keep on innovating their own formulas to the points that I'm quite interested to see where the hell they plan to keep going from here.
True. I am seeing a lot of people upset though that the like Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask kind of format is not going to be returning.
Well, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Masks were both symptoms of the time in that they forced you to wait a lot in order to kind of compensate for the processing power limitations. Like a lot of enemies are literally just stand there and wait for opening.
Yeah, which I get, but like there's a lot of the like the story driven and the somewhat semi-linear pathways. Not obviously they weren't linear games, but they were semi-linear and that like you had to kind of do things in a somewhat semblance of order. They've kind of just done away with that in favor of the open world like shenanigans of everything else, which I mean I don't mind so much, but I have seen some people quite displeased by it, I suppose. Next up, all right, what happened with the Star Wars Outlaw update? Did they just fuck up the release window?
Just that somebody I guess updated it to a more broad of all of 2024, and then they're like, no, late 2024.
Could you imagine you've got an entire team on this one release and somebody forgot to add the word late? Like, could you imagine? You're like, yeah, we're almost there.
Almost. Yeah, but I mean, it's
oh no, they've removed the word late. So they've just made it 2024 at some point.
Oh.
Yeah. That makes more sense, actually. All in all. But either way, like, could you imagine forgetting to have that section of the planning meeting where it's like, are we late or are we partway through? And nobody was like, oh, over there.
Yeah, we don't fucking know.
Yeah, we'll be there eventually. It'll be fine.
The game does sound interesting, though, because it's like a game where you're not a fucking Jedi.
Yeah, which is unusual, to say the least. All right, now, somebody has beaten Tetris, and if I recall, they beat Tetris by breaking it?
Yes, a 13-year-old who... You can watch the video, but I'd say it's like 40 minutes, so I'd say skip more to like the last 5.
Yeah.
But essentially...
I'm looking for where he...
Just to see how fast the pieces go. Like, I'd say maybe the last like 6 or 7 minutes.
I'm right before he breaks it, I think.
But essentially, the idea is that Tetris doesn't really have an end per se, but it has a kill screen where the pieces get moving so fast that the game can't keep up, so it just crashes. And that's considered beating Tetris.
There it is.
Up until this point, only an AI has ever accomplished that.
Now it's a kid having a panic attack instead.
Yep. So this kid had played the game for so long, accrued so many points, got through so many levels that the pieces were just moving too fast for the Super Nintendo to keep up, and it just crashes the system.
I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest, given like the age of the Super Nintendo. Like,
but you have to consider also the age of the game and the fact that this is the first time a human being has done it. Up until this point, this point, it had only been an AI to accomplish it, and as a result, it was considered to be impossible.
Apparently, he managed to hit 3 world records in one game. I don't know what the other 2 were, but it's pretty fucking cool. It's finally an accomplishment for humankind over AI.
Yeah, which apparently the kid has plans to keep doing it more in the future. With the idea of making a cleaner run, fewer mistakes, things like that. And I'm thinking, you already beat the fucking game, bud.
Now he's got to beat it faster.
He's got to beat it better.
Now he's got to speed run it. All right, on the term of weird human decisions, Jack Black potentially playing Steve in a Minecraft movie, which why is there a Minecraft movie? Why do we need a Minecraft movie? I don't know that we needed this many games based on movies. No, the other way around. Yeah, movies based on games. In fact, bring back games based on movies. I liked those. The Aragon game was so much more fun than the Aragon movie. It was a little closer to source material too.
The Wolverine Origins movie was shitty compared to the game.
Yeah, like a lot of those were better than the fucking movies. But I don't know. I feel like Minecraft Steve, I mean, Jack Black could do it without question. But this seems like a really weird choice in terms of things to get Jack Black to do. That I didn't remember Minecraft.
Well, I mean, look at the bright side. It wasn't Chris Pratt.
True.
It wasn't another animated movie with Chris Pratt. I'm Chris Pratt.
Very thankful of that. Okay, yes, I am blocking ads. Go away. Okay, Palworld has released a new dragon creature. Now, I did vaguely look into this one, but I didn't watch the video because.
By the way, I don't think you understand what this article says. Is that the early access is this month?
I didn't catch that part. January 2024. Ooh, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one. Because you and I both discuss this because it's basically Pokemon, but not.
With guns and sweatshop factories. But
with guns and slavery. And pals, not Pokemans. Now, is Jetragon the dragon that they've revealed?
I would assume so. It looks like a mix of Salamence and something else.
Lugia?
Maybe.
Oh god. These are very familiar creatures.
So it's definitely a not Ho-Oh and a definitely not Lugia.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, okay.
Number 50.
Also, I'm pretty sure this creepy looking bunny thing over here a second ago.
That's like a Salazzle mixed with something else.
This is Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's. That's what that is, just with more skin.
Or Mangle.
Look at the way it runs. It's 100% going to kill me when I forget to close the door. Yeah, okay. So we've definitely we're just straight up ripping off Pokemon and no one cares.
I mean, as long as they're not super obvious about it.
Sure. Except they have a PAL deck.
And?
As you were. Cool. Now, the Steam Awards. I need explanation for why there's an issue with this.
Because a lot of games got awards that they should have, but then there are games that shouldn't have. Like, for instance, Red Dead Redemption 2 got Labor of Love, which is it was the most supported title, and it hasn't received an update in over a year. And on top of that, Starfield got Most Innovative. Even the players of Starfield don't know why it won. And what's worse is that these awards are voted on by the players on Steam, so they're like, what the fuck happened?
Did some fuckers just hit the wrong button somewhere? Like,
for instance, Baldur's Gate 3 Game of the Year makes sense. Lethal Company First Person Cooperative Game gets Better with Friends Award, makes sense.
Yeah.
Starfield got Most Innovative Gameplay.
Yeah, surely we could have given that to anyone else, right?
But then, like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2 getting Labor of Love Award, which has not seen an update in over a year. Has since 2022.
Yeah, when there's definitely a lot of other options that we could have gone with here. Heck, even fucking Cyberpunk 2077 could have had it this year.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 actually won it last year with its DLC launch, and then
it had
kind of won it again with its 2.0 update.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. Okay, so basically what we're saying is either somebody really wanted to skew the results or Steam's doing something weird.
Steam's doing something weird, I think.
Yeah. And yes, inspired by Pokemon. Yeah, definitely. Okay, Kim Kardashian's massive mobile game has finally shut down.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
I didn't realize there was a wildly popular mobile RPG in which players had to climb the Tinseltown ranks from the
Wildly
E-list
popular.
to the A-list. Yes, wildly popular. Yeah, okay. That's good to know. Kim Kardashian might get a little bit less money from microtransactions now. Which I also wanted to bring up the fact that I asked you why it was called Netflix's GTA trilogy, and I found them on Netflix. I was scrolling Netflix and this is what came up. And I was like, well,
interesting.
I guess now I have proof that they are in fact Netflix's versions. So yeah. There's also Storyteller, which I've played and is quite good. Apparently also a Netflix release, or has been released through. Speaking of being released, and questionably so, why do we need a...
Available now, the Xbox Series S toaster. You can toast the Xbox logo into your toast. This is a real thing. This is a real fucking thing. You can buy it right now for like $40 at Walmart. Do not question.
Go to Walmart, buy one, do it. Offbeat, you have to make X toast next week.
Considering that there was already an Xbox Series X mini fridge, they just want to be all your kitchen appliances.
Is there actually an air fryer coming? Because I'd probably have an Xbox air fryer. I'd probably have one. Not that I own an Xbox, and that's because Tread sent me their old one. Like, it's the only Xbox I've ever owned, but still. Okay.
Stay tuned for the Xbox Classic Egg Beater.
Excellent. Okay, speaking of more things about Steam social deduction survival game has shut down forever. Dread
Which,
Hunger.
I'll be honest, this is a game that I first learned about, thought it sounded interesting, and then completely forgot about, so I'm kind of understanding that it's getting deleted, but now that I remember that it exists, a little disappointed. Because it's a social deduction game where you're going on a trip with your friends on an expedition to Antarctica, but one of you is actually sabotaging the whole thing with like demonic powers and Lovecraft shit.
Yeah, right. That sounds interesting.
And you have to basically determine who amongst your crew is the saboteur.
Is the issue the fact that we were so done with Among Us type games at this point that a new one was just not a good idea, regardless of who brought it out?
It's a strong possibility, but I mean, the concept was cool because it's like, it was more than just you killed your crewmates. It was literally like you would do blood rituals to summon enemies. You would literally take supplies and throw them overboard. You had to do anything you could to sabotage the expedition without getting caught.
I mean, that certainly sounds fucking cool. I don't know why we missed it.
It was, as I said, it wasn't just a matter of, oh my god, this guy's dead, who killed him? It was a matter of literally, who the fuck is killing us? Who is destroying the expedition?
That's really cool. I like it.
If there's coal, like your ship is powered with coal, they could take the coal and they could throw it overboard. Suddenly your ship can't move.
It was only out for like a year and a half.
Yeah. So like I said, it was that thing
April
where
2021, but like I kind of wish I'd known about it.
Like, yeah, this game's kind of cool, but then it did kind of fall off my radar.
Yeah, I kind of wish I'd known about it. Alrighty.
I feel it would have been necessary to have more than 2 people though.
Yeah, probably. But that's fine. We probably could have scrounged a few extras. We just might have to pay for their copy of the game. All right, Star Citizen's Everything Pack costs $48,000.
Which, by the way, you can only buy the 48,000 everything pack if you're actually part of the Big Spenders Club, which requires you already have spent $1,000 to begin with. So it's technically $49,000, just so you know.
That's not a just so you know fact. That's the whole fact. Like, there's nothing else we need to cover now. No, so
point being, that's a lot of goddamn money for something that's still in, I think, development early access and has not actually given them a game yet in a way.
Yeah, like it's still technically in development. I mean, it has been released, I believe, to early access. Last I checked, Star Citizen. Let's find out. Has had a week to whoa, hold up. No, it was from much earlier this year. Also, I have no idea why, but it sent me randomly into an article that doesn't want to load. Hello, stop that.
Hooray!
Okay, it doesn't like this one website. But yeah, apparently $48,000 is the cost of every ship you could possibly want.
Every ship. Every ship in the game. Every ship.
Alrighty, and just to cap it off with a game that you and I kind of started playing together, Apex Legends Cross Final Fantasy Rebirth.
I put this in here just because I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
This is some Fortnite level shit.
This is not in any way what I saw happening with Apex, but
No.
you know what? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not what I was anticipating.
Got cactuars and materia. There's a buster sword.
Yeah. Again, this is some Fortnite type shit. Is this Apex trying to catch back up? Because Apex has been slipping lately.
Possible. I mean,
That's
it's been
all,
pure. It's been pure fucking like sweats. So
Yeah, maybe this is them trying to like settle shit out and fucking like
be a little more goofy.
yeah, make it more exciting to I'm gonna say younger audiences.
Can't escape yourself.
Because realistically, that's what video games survive on these days.
Lights out.
Lights out.
Yuffie, someone, Moogle, hell yeah, Harriet.
I mean, it seems interesting. I like this. I'm very fond of this.
I've got a grudge.
So much
Yes, the Tonberry Nessie.
It's like a fantasy.
Yep. Okay. So Apex Apex Cross Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, specifically Rebirth. However, that does bring us to the end of the episode because I'm officially out of fucking windows to open, which I guess is probably a first for quite a while. So yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow and like and subscribe and review and rate and whatever other crazy things I'm probably meant to tell you to do at the start. And we will catch you next week, I guess, for more
Phil J. Gray.
shenanigans. I don't know. Yeah, much love. Bye.
Bye.
I now need to remember where the stop recording button is.